All right. Good morning, Mrs. Evers. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Okay, so we are here to meet about Abby. We talked last week a lot about how she's really struggling in your class. In fact, she's has the lowest score with an F. She is only participating about 50% of the time.
Right.
She has about 65% test average, and her homework's at 70%. So with all of that, obviously we want to improve all that, but we agreed that participation was going to be the one thing that we really honed in on and targeted. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I just want to touch base on where we left off. I told you that I'd come in and observe, and that I would talk to a few teachers and talk to Abby herself, and I even talked to her parents. So I just want to briefly talk about how those meetings went. When I came in to observe, I noticed that Abby really struggled. Whenever you gave multi-step directions, she only participated about 40% of the time. She only followed directions 40% of the time. Peers, they were right on track with about 85%. So she struggled with that. She appeared to be off task about 40% of the time. So both were 40%. She was on task about 60% of the time. Her peers were on task about 80% of the time. So she wasn't too far behind, but she was still, below her peers. So that's what I observed in the classroom. And by the way, the lesson that you did was fantastic. I could tell the kids really enjoyed it, and you have a great rapport with them. So job well done there. I did talk with the parents. I called home just to say, hey, this is kind of what we're seeing in school. Can you just let me know what you're seeing, what you think? And the parents were very concerned about reading. And they just said that she's never been a good reader. She's, if you have her read aloud, she can't do it. If you read something to her, she won't be able to tell you what just happened. So her fluency and comprehension, according to the parents, is a very big struggle for her. So then I talked to the teachers from previous years and just got a feel what they thought. And they said organization, actually. Well, so we have many different things that we're hearing. So I'm just curious, since this past week, have you had any new information, or has anything happened in the classroom?
Nope, nothing really has changed much.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. So really, I wanted to take a look at the four things that we got. So I wrote down four different things, and I really want to hypothesize what is causing the problem, what is causing the struggle with participation. So the first thing is she's unable to participate because she can't read and keep up with the content that's going on in class. So she might be feeling overwhelmed because of that. Would you agree with that hypothesis? Yes. Okay. Okay. So what I'll do is we'll find a research-based intervention that we can use to really test that hypothesis, and go from there. Another hypothesis I came up with: she is unable to participate because she can't comprehend the material. She might hear what you're saying, but she's unable to comprehend. So we'll find an intervention to test that comprehension and see if that could be the root of the problem. Does that sound okay with you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Also, going with what I observed in class, multi-step directions. We'll find an intervention for multi-step directions, and we can see maybe if there's an increase in her participation.
Okay.
And then finally, we'll take a look at her organization. We'll find an intervention for her organization, and we'll apply that intervention, and then we'll see if we notice an increase in her participation points.
Okay.
Now, for all of these interventions, what we will do is we will do this intervention. I will come in and I'll administer the intervention. I'll work with her about 5 minutes before each class, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And to track to see how the intervention is going, we can let it take its course for 2 weeks. And you said that you give 5 points a day.
Right.
So I think if we were able to collect data on how many points she earns a day, that can tell us if the intervention is working or not.
Okay.
And our goal, the goal that we would like for her to see, is to get 4 out of 5 points a day. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do we still feel that's appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. I agree with you. I think it's good to hold her to a high standard. Do you have any questions at all for me?
No.
All right. So what I'll do is I can stop in tomorrow and we can get going. I'll bring the interventions and we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.